All right, good evening, everyone. I'm going to call to order the August 20th meeting of the Board of Zoning Appeals. So if you would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Attorney BG, would you lead us, please?
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Could I get a roll call, please?
Melissa Mullin-Tischke.
Present.
Dwayne Hogan.
here.
Earl Cunningham.
Here.
Glenn Minnick.
Here.
Greg Zabala.
Here.
Wonderful. I will entertain a motion for the approval of the July 16th meeting minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as written and distributed.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion passed. So,
Yes, you
Earl
do.
would like to make a motion.
Madam President, as I came in this evening, coming down the steps, I witnessed Mr. Bolts in the lobby of the jail dealing with a hot topic, and I would move that we move his case to the front of the agenda tonight.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved. Andrew, would you like to come forward?
Thank you.
Number 13,
13.
the petition for variance or special
So we'll leave it
exception
first.
for Jerry Flitter, represented by Andrew Volz of House & House, for continuous placement of a mobile home. Original approval of placement was June 17th, 1986, and continued through until August 16th of 2016 for the property located at 8581 South, 1010 West, Wanata, Indiana, Clinton Township, zoned R1B.
If I may approach,
Please, and present your legal work to our attorney.
Yeah, I'm in there. Is that something like this? So,
I just want to review.
oops. There we go.
No, I've been there.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Give them 30 years to get to come back.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Careful.
Notice is adequate.
Thank
Madam
you.
President, if I may approach.
You may.
Good evening, members of the board, Madam President, Madam Building Commissioner, Council. My name is Andrew Volz. I am an attorney with House & House here in LaPorte, Indiana, 717 Indiana Avenue, LaPorte, representing Jerry Fletterer in this petition for a variance before this board. Pursuant to the petition that was filed, my client, Mr. Fletterer, purchased this property in 1986. Prior, the board had granted a variance for continued placement of a mobile home on the premises and outside of a dedicated mobile home park on November 25th of 1983. It was then reapplied for on June 20th of 1989, July 2nd of 1992, July 21st of 1995, August 18th of 1998, June 19th of 2001, August 17th of 2004, at which point then it was then applied for again August 21st of 2007, whereas this board at that time granted a variance for a period of 9 years. On August 16th of 2016, this board granted a variance for the continued occupancy of the mobile home on the premises for a period of 3 years, so therefore we are here today to attempt to renew this variance for my client, Mr. Fletterer. As you will note, the adjacent landowners, 6 out of the 7 have signed a consent. There are no remonstrators present that I'm aware of. For the first time in history for my appearance with the board. And
Duly noted.
we respectfully request that this board would grant a variance for continued occupancy of the mobile home on this property located at 8581 South 1010 West Wanata, zip code 46390. In addition, my client has requested that this board may entertain the possibility of extending this variance past 3 years, perhaps to 6, perhaps to 9, as a previous board has done. Again, I recognize that is in your complete discretion. However, as indicated by the previous petitions and the previous consents that have been filed, the neighbors don't object, and my client has no plans to sell the property, and he winds up being on this property in a situation where he needs to come back before this board every 3 years. And we recognize the reason for that, because we recognize that this board has created a, has stuck by the fact that we want to get mobile homes out of the county and into where they need to belong. However, I think this deserves some discretion on behalf of this board with granting of the variance, because there have been no complaints. The property is in good condition. It's kept up by my client. And again, he is seeking a renewal of the variance that has been previously passed 10 times by this board.
Do we indeed have no remonstrators this evening for petition number 13? Sorry, Andrew, I just have to check. Any remonstrators for or against? All right.
You made it.
Any
First time for everything.
Madam President,
questions or comments of the board?
No. Motion.
I like the fact that we have the authority to go more than 3 years. This mobile home has been maintained so well. I would have no hesitation about going 6 years with the stipulation that unless the property changes hands. Is that acceptable if I make that motion? I was so moved that we approve the petition for variance of special exception for Jerry Flitter, represented by Council Andrew Volt, for continual placement of a mobile home. Original approval was granted in 1986, continues through 16, and he's back after the 3 years. Property is located at 8581 South, 1010 West, Wanata, Indiana, Clinton Township, zoned R1B. Motion is to approve for 6 years unless the property changes hands.
Second it.
Mr. Cunningham, just to clarify, I believe the board originally granted a variance for the previous property owner in 1983. When Mr. Fletterer had purchased, meaning my client had purchased the property in 1986, he did so with the express intent of conforming with this board's provisions as related to the variance, and applied for a new variance for him to occupy the property.
Andrew, we're making a motion for 6 years.
Great. Just wanted to clarify.
Did I have
Second.
a second? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried. Congratulations, Andrew.
Thank you.
There is a first time for everything.
If it does change hands in less than 6 years, that new person's going to have to come back.
Pass that
Absolutely.
paper
Yes.
right down he has. Is there agenda on that? The
No,
picture and
We have
the,
another agenda.
You want this picture back, Andrew?
yeah.
I do.
Is that going to be for Doug or not?
I think this needs to be part of the
Doug,
correct.
record,
Yes,
record.
correct like that.
How is your
Here, Doug.
client?
How old is he?
Yeah.
I can find out.
Thank you.
Don't go directly.
And he knows that.
Okay, moving right along.
He can't sell the.
No, because whoever would have to do the same thing. that
We're
you
done.
would.
Thank you.
All right.
Back to petition number 1
They weren't here.
is a petition for variance of developmental standards for Sue Ann Tomian to construct an addition on the side of the home containing the basement and main floor 4 feet by 18 feet 8 inches with a side setback of 2 feet and 5.5 inches instead of the 10 feet minimum. Final structure will be over the 45% lot coverage for the property located at 3221 Lakeshore Drive, Michigan City, Indiana, Michigan Township, zoned R1B on 0.14 acres. Petition number 1, are you here? If you would present your legal work, your paperwork to our attorney, please.
I hope we have all this.
I hope so too, or we'll be moving along.
Did Susie drop a bunch of papers off to you? To Janet? Okay. I was told all I had to do is show up, but I took this from her house.
Famous last words.
No, I can't remember what we were missing last time.
All of it.
Yeah.
All of it.
They bring anything.
Here we go.
Notification, notice.
Yeah, it's nice.
What do you do? It's done.
Huh?
It's already done.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I think they've been doing it.
Huh?
They've been doing it all along.
You're taking
Notice is adequate.
away the views of these people.
Thank you. Would you state your name and address for the record, please?
My address,
It's right here.
Right into the
It's right
mic.
here.
Yep, get close.
I know.
There you go.
Derek Bing, and my address is on down here, 302, and the builder
It's
on
all
the
right
project.
It was Derek.
Yes.
All right, Derek, let's talk about this exceeding 45% coverage, and let's go for it.
What would you like to know?
Everything.
I think the reason they're going for it is there's 3 people in the house now, John and Susie Tommy, who are right at 80 years old, and they just downsized from a 10,000 square foot home to a 3,000 square foot home. Didn't realize there were no closets, and their mother-in-law is 103 years old. So the addition is for a closet and bathroom remodel to get a little bigger, so Jane can get a wheelchair around. That's why they're not here. They're in Florida. Not much they can do right
How much of this construction is already done?
now. None of this. What were the variances for?
Okay.
The house is under remodel now.
Right.
And then she realized her bedroom has no closet space and Jane can't get in the bathroom.
So what is the work you're doing currently in there?
It's all just gone straight up. We took the roof off and raised the roof pitch and put an office
That's what I
upstairs.
thought. That's all everything's been done.
No, I'm giving the name variances.
I thought we changed the
I'm
footprint.
giving the name variances because it's like,
When did that work start?
That was in, I believe the permit was pulled in March.
Oh, this year? And that's about completed?
Right now we're going into mechanicals.
That's what I thought. And what is it they're gonna do on the west side of the house there?
Excuse me?
What are they doing on the west side?
That's the 4 foot by 18.8. That's going to be the closet off their bedroom and
Okay.
expanding the bathroom. And it shows it as a basement, and I'm not sure if they're going to go complete with that basement or just do a crawl space. I think they're still trying to figure out the cost if it's worth 4 foot going out, you know.
Do we have any remonstrators this evening for petition number 1? Anybody here for or against? Do you have any additional questions or comments from the board?
You should have something from the neighbor to the west. I think it was emailed from, I think it was,
It wasn't in what you handed me.
wasn't there.
Was it something for or against?
It was for it, yeah. But it was just email, it wasn't certified.
Okay. Well, if there are no further questions or comments from the board, I will entertain a motion.
What do you think?
I'm not in favor of it. I'm not gonna make a motion.
How much did you raise that roof line? Back to a question.
I think it's about 16 feet. So overall, It's up about 10 more feet than what it was.
There's that answer. It's 10 feet.
Which the roof line on that, it won't, I mean, that's a shed roof, it's not gonna be anything close to that.
Well, I guess the question was, what about the neighbor behind him? But they can't see up to the lake now.
The neighbor behind him,
Or the alley there.
yeah, I don't think, they couldn't see the lake in the beginning.
Okay.
And the one they were worried about was on the west side, that they didn't have a problem with.
Madam President, I move that we approve the petition for variance of developmental standards for Sue Ann Tamian, construct an addition on the side of the home containing basement or crawl space and main floor, 4 feet by 18 feet, 8 inches, with a side setback of 2 feet and 5.5 inches instead of the required 10 feet. Final structure will be over the 45% lot coverage. Property is located at 3221 Lakeshore Drive, Michigan City, Indiana. Zoned R1B on .14 acres. As a side note, we're talking about Lakeshore Drive, which virtually every home is in violation of our code, as we're well aware.
Just that, I'm gonna second it with the auspices of what you just said, because I know it doesn't matter if you said yes or no. There's no place else to go with it or where to put it, nothing else. So I second it.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Aye. Greg?
Abstain.
Greg's abstaining, so we have 2 to 2.
Unless that doesn't happen quite a lot. We don't have a majority, so it fails, I believe. With all board members present. Let me double check.
I'm not sure if the attorney has a voice or not today.
It requires a majority pass, so it fails.
Okay, the motion fails. Good luck.
Thank you. Done faster.
All right, let's move on to petition number 2, which is a petition for variance of developmental standards for Mayor Rogers to build a garage 20 feet by 25 feet with a height of 20 feet instead of the maximum 18 feet on the south side of the house as opposed to the rear. The property is located at 14 East Moore Street in Hanna, Indiana, Hanna Township, zoned CBD2. Are you here? Come forward and present your legal... I'm sorry?
My name is Mark Rogers.
First, you're going to present your legal work to the attorney.
He said that because you felt like you're right.
You should
Oh, I'm
also have
sorry.
an affidavit of
I don't
publication.
have my glasses
I don't
on.
It's
think
okay.
that I left that on my car.
We gotta have it.
Andy,
Am I gonna have to come back then?
Yeah,
bring
the grant
a
situation.
publication on this one.
Is it in your car here in the parking
No,
lot?
it's on my printer at home.
Where did you publish?
Kyle Media? K-I-E-L?
And you have the
Westfield.
publication by
Or
chance?
regional news.
Nope. Yeah, I'm sorry, it's a statutory prerequisite to proceed, so I'll just give that to me next month, okay? Well, can you make an announcement that's been postponed, once postponed?
The next month.
So petition number 2 is going to be postponed for Mark Rogers, and I apologize, until the September meeting. You're going to
Have it in yet?
Yeah, we have to put the date on the record, so that way he doesn't have to renotice.
Third Tuesday. They're looking it up.
September 17th.
September 17th? Yes. All right, thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Is anybody else here for the Mark Rogers petition? Sorry, you look busy. Come on.
Okay,
Get out of
since petition number 2 has been moved to next month's meeting, if you are here for that one, please come back next month. Petition number 3 is a petition for variance special exception for Elaine Wallace for continued placement of a mobile home. The first variance was in 2007 and last renewal was August 16th, 2016 for the property located at 8451 North, 500 West, Michigan City, Indiana, Springfield Township, zoned R1B on 9.83 acres. If you would like to present your legal work to our attorney, please.
It's okay.
There are no steps coming off the door.
Oh.
Everything I noticed.
And that's just not cool with furniture, that's what I think.
I'm a comment that there's no steps coming off the door of the old house.
Is that pertinent
Yeah,
to the just make sure.
it is.
I don't want to kick you.
Can't do that.
Remember what
Do that.
we were told.
Ma'am, I don't see anything here for Todd Schweitzer.
It's way on the bottom of the paper.
Oh, okay, I see this. Notice is adequate.
Thank you. Would you state your name and address for the record, please?
Elaine Wallace, 8451 North, 500 West, Michigan City, Indiana.
Elaine, what year is your mobile home? Roughly.
Gosh, I don't really remember.
Okay. It looks to me to be in good shape. You definitely have a lot of acreage.
One suggestion I'd make if this goes through is that back door, there's no steps coming out of that door. By the air conditioner.
By the air conditioner.
That's correct.
Back here, there's a tree kind of growing in the way, and it doesn't look like there's a stoop
Oh, no,
on it.
the door is off the last inside sunroom area.
Use that as a door.
The door to go in is right here.
But is this
Oh.
a serviceable door here?
Right by the air conditioner, that's a service door right there.
Yeah, but it's low to the ground also.
Oh, okay. But it's functioning.
Yeah.
It's functioning.
It could be used. Yeah,
That's important in case of...
yeah, it could
In
be.
an event of
used.
emergency without fire or steps, that's not going to be used right there.
Yeah.
I saw it. It's 3 foot plus.
So that large.
Yes.
And Elaine, do you own the property that the mobile home is placed
Yes, I
on?
do. Yes,
You
I
do? And does anyone live there with you?
My daughter.
Okay. Do we have any remonstrators this evening for petition number 3? Anybody here for or against petition number 3? Any further questions or comments from the board? If not, I will entertain a motion.
I'll give you the motion for petition for the variance for special exception for Elaine Wells for continued placement of the mobile home located at 8451 North, 500 West, Michigan City in Springfield, zoned R1B and 9.83 acres. I'd also like to see her put steps on that back door there just in case we have an emergency to get in or out of the property. It would be a good thing to do
And how many years
for 3 years.
Required to put steps
renewable?
on the door.
So I have a petition for 3-year renewable and addition of steps to the door. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations, 3 more years. And remember, you're going to have to come to us. We're not going to remind you that your 3-year period is up.
Right.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, petition number 4 is a petition for variance of developmental standards for Zachary and Jennifer Alexander for construction of a second accessory structure, 40 feet by 60 feet. The property is located at 1319 North Gold Ring Road, LaPorte, Indiana, Center Township, zoned Ag on 2.869 acres. Petition number 4, if you'd present your legal work to our attorney, please.
You want the affidavit of publication?
Yes.
Notice is adequate.
Thank you. If you would please state your name and address for the record.
Zachary Alexander, 1319.
I think that's right here.
Zachary, I'm going to ask you to make sure you speak into that microphone since we're not on our
Second
usual
accessory, right?
setup. I want to make sure the recording minutes can be heard. No, we're good. Thank you. So you want to do a secondary,
Yeah.
a second additional
Six car
structure.
already there.
Are we going to put electric and water in there?
No, it's just gonna be a store, a cold storage building.
Cold storage. And what is the height, the roof height of this building going to be
At the peak or at the,
at the peak?
I think it's just a shade under 18. It's a 12-foot clear span. I don't know if it matters. I may put just a 110 outlet out there to put a battery trickle charger on the tractors.
It will.
No, it won't.
It won't?
You keep saying
It's
electric's
water.
automatic.
It's water.
Yeah.
I apologize.
I won't have water in there, but to trickle charge the tractor batteries, then I probably will. Basically, I'm just putting up a second one because I don't like stuff sitting outside. I've got 4 children who are all starting
Place
to
is
drive
very
and
neat.
taking up
Oh, yeah.
farm space.
Right.
So
It's going to sit right behind the existing barn.
it'll sit behind, my driveway goes straight in and
Right.
it's going to be able to show
Yeah.
boat or my wife and I end up retiring later on in life, maybe we want to get another view or something. I don't like stuff sitting outside. I don't think it looks nice, so I like to have my stuff inside. Which is the whole reason, it's just gonna be a storage building, tractor inside, boat, trailer, all of that stuff sitting in the yard. So,
Good.
And I appreciate your drawing. It's very legible. And are there any, do you have a question before I start talking? Are there any remonstrators this evening for petition number 4? Anybody for or against petition number 4? Hearing none, if there's any questions or comments of the board?
Just one question. The one thing wasn't covered was the facade of it. What is it going to look? Is it going to be consistent with the other structure you have, or?
I didn't plan on putting wings coating on it because it's just gonna be sitting in the back for storage, but Cleary Building is gonna put it up for me, so it's gonna be a professional building. It's not just gonna be thrown together with a bunch of sheets
Sure.
or whatever. So, we try to, my wife and I try to keep the property looking very nice.
I can only
It does.
imagine that it's going to look wonderful.
Okay.
I'll make a motion for petition for the variance of developmental standard for Zachary and Jennifer Alexander for the construction of a second accessory structure, 40 feet by 60 feet, and that's a good size. The property is located at 1319 North Gold Ring Road, LaPorte, in Center.
I second.
I have a motion in 2 seconds. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Good luck. All right. Petition number 5 this evening is a petition for variance or special exception for Dignan, aka Burkhart Advertising, I apologize, to relocate an existing billboard 12 feet by 12 feet, 25 feet rather. Wow. off premise to the opposite corner of the property due to construction of a new Dollar General. The property is located at the corner of US 20 and the west side of North 500 East in Rolling Prairie, Indiana, zoned B1 on 46.67 acres. And that's in Kankakee Township. If you'd present your legal work to our attorney.
The existing one's right here. We're gonna move it to right here. Exactly what it looks like.
Got a lot of them there. This is good. We're supposed to have LA subdivision.
Right.
Message. This is
Yeah.
a lot of distraction.
Yeah, I do.
Especially if they got red and green.
Anybody?
I know.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's pretty heavily wooded right here. We're gonna have to clear a lot of that.
Yeah.
Trees. The other thing that's odd is this is pretty high. It rises. This is pretty low.
Notice adequate.
thank you. If you would state your name and address for the record, please.
Sure. My name is Terry O'Brien. I am the real estate manager for Digna and for Burkhardt Advertising. I'm here tonight on behalf of Economic Development. Burkhardt has had signs in LaPorte County since 1962, and we have been successfully at this particular section of road along US 20 since approximately that same time. The owner of the property, the Garollas, were recently approached by a developer for Dollar General, and they have decided to sell part of that farmland so that a Dollar General can be developed there. Our initial plans was to move it just slightly outside the footprint of Dollar General until we had a conversation with Mr. Garolla, who has very grandiose plans of selling off all of that land all the way to the next road for future retail and commercial development.
Right.
So we made the business decision to move it to the far end, so I wouldn't have to come back to you in a year or 5 years or 10 years when the next piece of land happened to sell. Now, to clarify, the sign that's there that's going to be relocated is the exact same size and same height as what currently is there. We're going to, in fact, be reusing the top section of the sign. We can't use the bottom pole section because there's 4 feet to 6 feet of pole underneath the ground. So when we cut that 6 to 8 inches below grade, if we tried to reuse the pole, we would be losing anywhere from 4 to 6 feet of height. Is there any questions other than that I could possibly answer for you?
Are there any remonstrators this evening for this petition?
Yep.
Any remonstrators either for or against? Petition number 5. Hearing none, if there are no further questions or comments from the board, I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that the petition for variance of special exception for Digna, aka Burkhardt Advertising, be granted to relocate an existing billboard 12 feet by 25 feet off premise to the opposite corner of the property. The property is located at the corner of US 20 and the west side of North 500 East, Rolling Prairie, Indiana, Zone B1.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. Motion's passed. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Petition number 6 this evening is a petition for variance of developmental standards for Richard W. and Rebecca Tomich for construction of a second accessory structure 40 feet by 60 feet with a height of 28 feet instead of the maximum 18 feet, and water with a bathroom. The property is located at 633 West, 400 South, LaPorte, Indiana, Scipio Township, zoned R1A on 2 acres. You can present your legal work to our attorney, please.
I've seen this project. This is my neighborhood moving along for a while.
Yeah.
Signatures and all.
Good or bad?
It's okay.
Turning it in, I amended where I wanted the shed to move.
Okay.
These don't show it.
Most files show that.
This revised drawing.
This is the
Revised drawing.
This is in our packet. I don't know what's revised.
Oh, he just
about
said it.
that. There's just
Changed the location of the shed
there's one
on
on
that
that corner here
drawing.
that's a little bit like this, and it really looks industrial.
So here's the difference.
I think he's right next to an easement.
This is
for
the new
cars
one.
field behind him, too.
No separate.
Thank you. Could you please state your name and address for the record?
Richard Tomich, 633 West, 400 South, LaPorte, Indiana.
All right, Richard, what are you going to use this additional structure for?
Storage of boats, lawnmowers, things like that. And the reasoning for the bathroom was my wife's suggestion. Whenever we have running the house all the time.
I think that's an outstanding idea.
The additional height, just for storage, like an attic almost upstairs, you're talking 28 foot, or we just want that much clearance?
The reason is because I wanted the width to be 60 instead of 40.
Gotcha.
The height of the door, the middle door would be about 14 foot high and 14 foot wide in case for some reason we wanted something big like a mobile home at some point in
Gotcha.
time, or somebody down the line. It was kind of a suggestion of my dad's.
Gotcha. So you're just going width instead of length? Gotcha.
And the reasoning behind that is because if anybody wanted something bigger at some point in time, you could just build onto the back section versus having to build something new.
Do we have any remonstrators this evening for petition number 6?
I mean, this isn't a very big house.
Anybody in favor of it or against it? Bless you. Hearing none, are there further questions or comments from the board?
I'm wondering, how tall is your house now?
I'm not sure.
This is going to rise up quite a bit above the home, I'm guessing.
It should be very similar to the old barn that my neighbor currently has, well, across from the drains.
Yeah, I think it's across the street.
Oh, over here.
28 feet? That's pretty tall.
How many neighbors were notified?
All the joint
All
properties.
joint properties.
And I walked around and got signatures from all the adjoining.
There's no demonstrators.
If there are no further questions or comments from the board, I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, we grant the petition for variance of developmental standards for Richard W. and Rebecca Tomich for the construction of a second accessory structure 40 feet by 60 feet with a height of 28 feet, including water for a bathroom. The property is located at 633 West 400 South, LaPorte, Indiana.
Second.
If I may add that there will be no renting of the structure. So I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, the motion passed. Good luck. Okay, number 7, the petition for variance of developmental standards for Rafael Rodriguez for the approval of an accessory structure already built to the side of the home instead of the rear. The structure is 15 feet 4 inches by 36 feet and 8 feet 3 inches from the home instead of the required 10 feet. The property is located at 11964 West Cassandra Lane, Westville, Indiana, New Durham Township, zoned R1A.
There it is. There you go. Tough dope, isn't it?
I could go back. See.
There you go.
No, this is adequate.
Thank you. Would you give us your name and address for the record, please?
It's Rafael Rodriguez, 11964 West Cassandra Lane.
Raphael, is this structure already on the property?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
So are you using it just for storage?
It will be used for storage. It's currently empty because I've not been able to use it since it arrived 2 months ago.
Is there any reason why I couldn't go back any further to the right behind the house?
If I may approach the bench. Here's a sketch drawing of the property. There's two there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, the issue with setting it back any further than what it is now is because of the septic field. It's currently the closest corner, which would be the southwest side of the building, is currently 14 or better feet away from the septic field. If it were to be moved any farther back, it would actually sit on the septic field. Also, 2 years ago, I met with the next door neighbor and I told him that, we've always had issues with storage in the two-car garage. So I asked him if he had any objection to me putting the shed farther back into the property. His concern was that there's a farmer's field behind us, and he says he likes going out in the morning to look at the back and it's all opened, and I can understand that. My wife suffered a stroke years ago, so I wanted her to decide on where this should go to where it would be easier for her to access lawnmowers and snow blowers and things of that nature. And where it currently sits, it is possibly the flattest grading that we currently have on our property, and that it would be closer to the driveway where she can access it. I also do have pictures of, if anyone's interested, as to what it currently looks like.
Thank you.
Yes, we have.
Do we have any remonstrators this evening for petition number 7? Again, anybody for the petition or against the petition? Remonstrators for petition number 7. Hearing none, are there any further questions or comments of the board?
Just out of curiosity, you said this was delivered a couple months ago. Was it delivered earlier than you expected, or what was the delay in coming before the board?
It took like 6 weeks to build.
And you haven't used it since then because you didn't have the variance?
The only thing in there is a 2x4.
This is a portable structure, correct?
It can be moved. It's quite heavy. I mean, there's special equipment that needs to be used to move it.
So what type of is it on a foundation?
No, it sits on pavers. There's about 70 or so pavers.
Do you plan to, well, the inspectors will have to go look at it.
I mean, it won't pass code the way if it's just sitting on pavers.
No, it has to be anchored down, but obviously I haven't done that because of the fact
waiting
that...
for this.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
I already have someone lined up to come in and do the anchoring once this goes through.
So if there are no further questions or comments of the board, I will entertain a motion for petition number 7.
I make a motion that the petition for variance of developmental standards for Rafael Rodriguez be granted for the accessories. The structure is 15.4 by 36, and it's 8 feet 3 inches from the home. That's the biggest problem, instead of required 10. The property is located at 11964 West Cassandra Lane, Westville, Indiana.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Nay.
1 nay. Good luck.
I have a question. Can I run electric to this?
Electric, no water.
No water, there's no need for water there, no. Okay, thank you.
This I don't know if you want fire truck and all chain.
Okay, petition number 8 this evening is a petition for variance of developmental standards for Jonathan and Erica Berger for the construction of a 20 feet by 32 feet detached garage with a height of 25 feet instead of the maximum 18 feet to be placed in front of the home instead of the rear prior to the home being built and with a bathroom. The property is located at 1088 North Gold Ring Road, LaPorte, Indiana, Center Township, zoned ag on 1.65 acres.
I don't think it's big enough.
No static.
Thank you. Would you state your name and address for the record, please?
Jonathan Berger, 308 Sunbeds Drive, LaPorte, Indiana, Center Township.
Jonathan, what are we going to put in this building before we, or is it construction materials before you build the home?
Yeah, so the purpose behind the size or whatever, if you've seen the property, it's the topography, it's kind of challenging. And so the footprint going out really isn't to me isn't an option. And to bring the garage up, which I like detached garage, I don't like to have my garage attached to a house. I'm going for a modern farmhouse look. So the garage itself is going to be a 2-bay garage in front of the house, and it's going to eventually be a garage for our cars, but it'll have storage for construction materials. But ideally, the reason why I'm going up is because for the house, I'm doing all the millwork, all the doors, transoms, cabinetry, all out of hickory, and I'm going to do that myself. And so the upstairs is going to be a wood shop.
So you don't plan on using it for a resident?
No.
Okay.
No, the house.
Okay.
And I have plans that show if you would like to see. But,
I see the ground is tough there. Go to the right of the house.
it's very tough. And so to put a bathroom in there, the septic system itself is down on that hill. I wanted everything gravity fed. Even I don't want any mechanicals, even in my basement. So I designed myself my septic system, got it approved, and even my basement bathrooms are going to be gravity fed into it. So I mean, I wanted everything gravity fed, so I didn't have to worry about mechanicals in the future.
Use a lot to your advantage.
Absolutely.
Use it.
Do we have any remonstrators this evening for petition number 8? Anybody here to speak for or against petition number 8? Anybody for or against petition number 8? What?
It's right next to your house.
Pretty close, huh?
I grew up next door.
Yeah.
Oh, did you?
You live where Dace is at now.
Oh, is that right? Okay. Yeah.
I was waiting for someone to say so.
All right.
In trouble.
I have, pardon me, no remonstrators for petition number 8. Are there any questions or comments of the board?
Madam President, I would move that we approve the petition for the variance of developmental standards for Jonathan and Erica Berger for the construction of a 20 feet by 32 foot detached garage with a height of 25 feet instead of maximum 18 to be placed in front of a prospective home instead of to the rear prior to the home being built and with a bathroom. The property is located at 1088 North Gold Ring Road, LaPorte, Indiana, in Center Township, located at 1.65 acres.
I'll second it.
Not to be used as a dwelling.
Oh, yeah.
Not to use it.
Not to be used as a dwelling. Add that as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
1 second. I did speak with Madam Commissioner about expanding the footprint to make it a 2-car garage. We had talked about that over, and it's so it'd be 26 by 32 with 2 bays. Is that?
I'd feel better.
So
26 by 32 instead of 20 by 32 is what you're saying.
Yes, please.
And I want to clarify one thing when we say no residents. If you're doing all this construction, you're going to be sleeping overnight every down out there.
I would clarify that too. I'm not going to lie and say I won't be standing out there.
Right,
yeah,
we
that's not
understand.
a problem. I mean,
During
living there.
construction, you're going to stay there from time to time. That's why you got a bathroom. I understand.
I've been there, done that.
Yeah.
This chair's literally falling apart.
I see it.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck. Thank you.
Perfect.
Thanks. Petition number 9 tonight is a petition for variance of developmental standards for Brian Hernandez and Jessica Colburn Hernandez for the placement of a modular home which will be a larger footprint than the original on a non-conforming lot of 1/4 acre instead of 1 acre, 8 feet 5 inches from the rear property instead of the required 25 feet, and with 130 feet of road frontage instead of the required 200 feet. The existing home will be demolished for the property located at 7 East Snyder Road, Westville, Indiana, New Durham Township, zoned R1B on .25 acres.
Well, do you have proof that she sent it? No, I do need the affidavit of publication.
I'm going to email you. It was still indicator. They email you. Yeah.
That's all.
Okay, 1 second. Let me get these here.
Not yet.
You could actually see it from here in Beacon.
No, you can't before.
Can't from there.
No.
Was that sarcasm?
We will run it in the August 22nd edition.
Yeah, I emailed them and
It's not.
Notice, is it?
Yeah.
No, that's not
We have to
even.
have it has. We can do this 10 days after it's published.
okay.
Okay, so what we can do is set this over to next month. Just bring in your notice of publication. And,
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so
Motion to continue to next month.
Second.
I'll just keep those for the record. Okay.
Thank you.
I have a,
Careful.
please be careful. I have a motion and a second to
Know you for that.
postpone petition number 9 until the September 17th
You
meeting.
need to
Thanks.
give us some
Serious
stuff
stuff
this
there.
next time.
I know this is a screw.
I mean, it's a wetland.
All right, petition number 10 for the variance or special exception for Michael A. and Roxanne Peach for the raising of a maximum of 50 chickens on 2 acres instead of the minimum required 3 acres for the property located at 6712 East 100 South Mill Creek, Indiana, Lincoln Township, zoned ag on 2 acres. If you'd present your legal work to our attorney, please.
What?
I need you to keep it down.
We're trying
I got no mic over here.
You don't need one.
Sorry. Sorry, Madam President.
Thank you.
I want to find this guy. Notified. This is wetland. Remember that be here. Smell a little snow already.
Oh, jeez.
No, this is adequate.
So many neighbors are there.
Thank you. If you would state your name and address for the record, please.
Roxanne Peach, address is 6712 East 100 South, Mill Creek, Indiana.
Picture that.
All right, Roxanne. 50 chickens, is that a lot?
Well, the reason I picked 50 is because I might want to do meat chickens in the spring, and you only have them for 8 to 10 weeks. And so the most I probably really have is 24 chickens all year round, except for the time in the spring where I might want to do some meat chickens. And the most I would ever want to do is 25, so that's why I said 50.
Okay. I almost said, what do you do with the chicken waste? Do you store it on site?
I'm gonna have a compost.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna eventually have raised bed gardening, and I can use that for the raised beds.
Do we have any remonstrators this evening for petition number 10? Anybody here for or against 50 chickens for petition number 10? Hearing none. Are there any questions or comments from the board?
Are you going to fix up that barn in the back of the shed?
The shed, yes.
And you already have electric ran out there to it?
Yes, I do.
I think I saw there's a couple of heat lamps in there. And
Yes.
Okay.
And overheating now for the water in the
Right.
winter.
Then off the back of that shed, you're going to build a run or something for them?
Eventually, yes.
Well, so will these be free-range chickens then, or?
Right now, it looks like it because the cost to rehab that shed is up there, and I've only got a price for that. I haven't gotten the price to add the run. And my neighbors, I talked to them all, and they don't have problems with free-range chickens at all.
Are there any further questions or comments from the board? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
What do you think, Farmer?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Clarification again, you have approximately 24 chickens,
Right.
and you want to add another couple dozen, possibly in the spring, but for 8 to 10 weeks to fatten them up. Is that correct?
Right,
Okay.
right.
I just want to make
Have
sure.
them
So you're not going to have 50 chickens year round.
No, not running around.
Just
no.
want to make sure I got that straight. Okay.
Maybe we could make a motion for 25 hens.
Okay.
That by limiting that part of it, 50 chickens with 25 hens. Does that make sense?
No, I'm
Lane-
confused.
So,
wait a minute.
So you're saying that you're not going to have more than 25
check that
laying
out?
hens
Right.
on the property,
Right,
and we're going to limit you to 50 chickens,
right.
and only 25 of them could be hens.
Okay.
So,
That's fine.
I think that's clear.
Are you going to color code them or
As
what?
much.
So I
What, like-
gotta ask the question,
I-
so I'm assuming the guys' chickens are the meat chickens?
They can
The
be
roosters?
ladies too, but the hens mean that they're the chickens that are laying eggs. Okay, that's what she's looking for.
But he's gonna
I
go
can
out
put
every
laying
spring
hens.
and just.
You're just saying no more than 24 laying hens.
I wasn't going to get involved. Can I make a motion?
Go ahead. I don't think you said this one.
I think you might want to rethink that
I don't wanna
stipulation,
sit.
but I would love to
I would
hear
like
your
to
motion.
make a motion that petition
Brought
for
blue eggs.
variance of a special exception for Michael A. and Roxanne Peach for the raising of a maximum of 25 laying hens and a total of 25 chickens on 2 acres be granted.
So a total of 50.
Total of 50. There were on less than the minimum 3 acres. The property is located at 6712 East, 100 South, Mill Creek, Indiana, Lincoln Township, zoned ag on 2 acres.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Hearing none. Good luck. Motion passed.
We're gonna have fresh eggs in the neighborhood.
Take care next time.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, petition number 11 is a petition for variance of use for Keith Blamey to run an auto body shop and to construct a 60 feet by 40 feet third structure with a height of 20 feet instead of the maximum 18 feet and a 4 feet by 4 feet double-sided sign for the property located at 6969 North State Road 39, LaPorte, Indiana, Springfield Township, zoned ag on 7.568 acres. If you want to present your legal work to our attorney, please.
Is this from before?
Yeah.
I don't know that it was just a frame, wasn't it?
Frame, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I did the drive-by.
No, this is adequate.
I was there. I went through it.
All right, thank you. If you would please state your name and address for the record, please.
It's Keith Blamey, 6969 North State Road 39.
Keith, we're going to run an auto body shop, right? What kind of hours of operation are you looking at?
8 to 6.
Monday through Saturday? Anything by appointment on Sunday?
I don't want to be out there on Sunday.
Just in case, you might want to
Appointments only.
do
Appointments only would be good.
so 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday and Sunday by appointment. How many cars do you anticipate having at the location at one time?
15 to 20, at the, probably 20 at the most.
Go inside.
A lot of them are just customers.
Do you have a paved or gravel parking lot for that 15 to 20 cars?
Yes.
Which one?
It's, I got it, it's crushed asphalt for the half the driveway, and then it's whatever that is, crushed
Slag.
like a
Slag.
limestone, and then I got the crushed asphalt that I had rolled out.
Okay. Recycled asphalt.
I do plan on paving it when other building is free.
So we're gonna never mind. Doug will hit me for that one.
It's good.
I was about to go for it. Okay. Do I have any remonstrators this evening for petition number 11? Anybody in favor or against petition number 11?
Melissa?
Yes?
I got a phone call today that
Okay.
they were very pleased with that operation. And it is very clean and neat out there.
I agree with you.
The
When
neatest I've ever seen.
I did a drive-by, not a stop, and I thought the same thing as well. Very good.
For that kind of business, it's probably one of the best in the county, without question.
It is. I did a detailed walkthrough with Keith when I was there through all the buildings, the back part, how it all works. So I was very impressed with it.
Thank you.
Okay, well, hearing no remonstrators.
I'll make you a motion then.
There we go.
Petition for the variance for use for Keith Blamey to run an auto shop and to construct a 60 by 40 third accessory structure with a height 20 feet instead of the minimum 18 feet. And also to have a 4x4 sign. Was that going to be a lit sign or not?
No.
4x4 sign. This property is located 6969 North State Road 39. And with the hours of it, Monday through Saturday, 8 to 6. And on Sunday, after that, by appointments only.
You're not going to do that. Okay.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none, your motion's passed. Good luck.
Good job.
And finally, petition number 12 this evening is a petition for variance of developmental standards for Jean and James Reed, Leesor, and William Barker and Josh Schneider, Leesee,
I don't need your petition, but I need the affidavit of
That was emailed in.
to enclose 2 shipping containers for the storage of building materials. The property is located at 13804 South, 1050 West in Wanata, Indiana,
The
Cass
email it
Township,
should be on your phone. That's what the last girl had.
zoned B2
Like, I'm not the one that put it in.
on 3.235 acres.
And he's at Atlin Mittler right now. Why'd you do that? Punching the clock.
I don't have that. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Didn't need that.
No, this is adequate.
Thank you. If I could get you to return to the podium, please. And give us your name and address for the record.
Joshua Schneider, 7659 East 100 North, Greenfield, Indiana, 46140.
So you don't live here, you're going to lease these storage containers?
So what I'm doing is I just have the storage, I purchased the storage containers.
Okay.
And we're just having the temporary storage there. I'm building a house out of all reclaimed industrial materials up at the lake. So like, the one thing you'll notice that's out there, you guys have been by a couple times, there's a big white door. So that's an airplane hangar door that's going to face the lake. The whole front of the building's going to open.
Airplane hangar door.
There's a stack of 3x6 tongue and groove decking from 1903 out of the Racine, Wisconsin case manufacturing plant. So ultimately what this building is going to do is house these products until we kick off construction here in another 3 to 4 months, which ultimately will take us about a year to complete.
And then what happens to the storage containers?
So then it either, by your guys' will, it goes away or it stays. And it currently is sitting on a concrete slab that was a building. You know, as you can see from the aerial photos, there was a large building that used to be there. A pole-style structure.
Should I tell him?
No, that's her problem. We're just looking to see if we can leave it there.
The containers themselves are not outside the perimeter of the old concrete.
Okay.
So that had to be approved at some point to be a building. So we kept it on the old footprint of that. The height is probably right around your 18-foot maximum. And ultimately what we did is we just took the trusses, spread the boxes out as wide as we could get for free span storage in the center. And
okay, so just to be clear on this, you're building on Lake Michigan property.
Right next to the dunes, yes, ma'am.
So I have to follow these materials up 421 on my way to work every day.
No, you won't have to.
Okay.
They'll be on semis and going
All right,
at
very
once.
good. No wide loads, very handy for me.
The big stuff is closer to the lake, out of the storage facility. I have 7 bowstring trusses out of the Chicago Brickworks buildings that are they're a foot thick, top and bottom, and they're nice and sweaty from 1930. They're beautiful. And ultimately what we're doing is we're trying to keep the stuff doesn't fall in buildings dry, and we're just trying to keep it out of the weather as best we can, so that way it can make it to the, the project is the best shape as it can be.
When do you look to start?
I'm hoping for October, November. We're still waiting on some stuff from the engineers, structural-wise, because they want us to do it on pilings, because all the houses on the hill are having foundation issues, like they're literally sliding down the hill.
They are.
So we're going the piling route, and it's a little bit more engineering than what we first anticipated. It's 22 feet to good sand.
Wow.
Below the top grade.
Where are you building?
Porter Beach.
Okay.
Do you know Carl there?
Mm-hmm.
The guy with the big white house right on the water?
Mm-hmm.
He's my neighbor.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you to step aside for a moment because I know that we have some remonstrators tonight.
Okay.
Any remonstrators? Come on up. Please be careful.
Somebody out here.
We are. We need some tape next time.
I'm at the court.
Would you state your name and address for the record, please?
My name is Mike Kukowitz. I live on south side, the railroad tracks from our property where he's talking about.
Do you have an address there?
10751 West, 1400 South.
Okay.
I got 71 acres on that side of the tracks.
James Irwin. Address is 13951 South, 1050 West, Warrenville, Indiana, 46390. To provide one thing, what he said, that where those trailers are sitting is where they used to store fertilizer and sand and all that was an elevator.
Coal pits.
But there's what they used to have down there is ethanol thing, which should have a lot of storage in it, and then they had a place up where they stored all their bag fertilizer and feed too, up on the hill. I wonder if that's being utilized as storage too.
Those two buildings.
My objection
I have one
is,
question while we're in the middle of that. Are you talking about these two buildings, if they're gonna use those for storage?
they're building a separate building.
Oh.
He's
Those are
building,
separate.
he's
It's
building
somewhere
out a
else.
40 by
That's on
60
that
building
concrete
there,
pad.
made out of 2x4s. The only thing holding it up right now is those storage units right on the outside of them. And I want to know how he's going to get those storage units inside that building when the storage units are longer than the building. Yeah, that's about, I eyeballed it, I think it's about 40 by 50 or something like that. It's an awful expensive building. Building like that costs $30,000 if you done it right. But there's no 4x4s on the corner, 2x4s it looks like, from what I can see on top of the railroad tracks. That's not a very sturdy building. Somebody's gonna get hurt. And the only thing that the wind didn't blow it down now when they stopped them is because the storage buildings are on the outside are holding the building up.
Once they come there and put plywood on it, on one end, one piece on the other end to keep it from going over and bracing again.
They're not planning that building very good. Like he said, they're gonna tear it down afterwards, okay, you know. That's expensive, you can find someplace else to rent that stuff. Oh, there's a lot of empty sheds. My brother on Big Old Road only gets $1,500 from the farmer renting a building like that out.
Do you have any further concerns other than construction methods and the actual
I
placement?
want to know how many more storage units, those storage units are they going to move in? You know, how many more of them are coming? And they ought to clean the area up in the back there. There's a mound back there where they were shooting in there, like a shooting range before, but I put a stop to that when I'm working by the creek and the bullets are flying, whistling through the air. I called the police on that.
Mr. Kuckowitz, are they shooting there currently
No,
since he's
put a
been
stop to
renting?
it. Put a stop to it.
All right.
Because I heard it physically whistle through the air.
Right. And some of your concern then is
What's going to happen next after the building, after they move?
how long that building will be there. I mean, he said that they're going to tear that down within a year or two. Let's say, let's just use 2 years. If it takes them a little longer to get the house built on the lake. That alleviates your concern about this building sitting there and being poorly constructed. He's not building it for a while. I understand that.
What else is going to move in there?
Well,
The
that's
same people tried to build an asphalt paving plant there 10 years ago.
that's an issue for another meeting. I mean, that's not what we're here to deal with
Guys threw it
tonight.
out.
Well, I think that's a question, in my opinion, for the owner of the property.
I'd like to know why there's two trailers parked on there, and one I know is occupied, the second one I don't know if it's occupied.
I can speak to most of these concerns.
That's good.
We
We'll
will,
bring you
just
back
a
up in a
moment.
minute.
Anything further, gentlemen, before we have him come
Further
back
on
up?
down the line, that people that own that property are going to have to clean that cement silo, drainage silo up because it's sitting right there. What happens when it falls on the tracks or deteriorates, you know, that people got more things to worry about than creating more problems.
I certainly can sympathize with your concern on that, and I would suggest that you contact Anne Marie in the building department. And at the time that this building is no longer, this area is no longer being leased by the gentleman, maybe they can look at cleanup at that point.
Okay, I'm just wondering how many more shipping containers are coming.
Okay.
The thing that really concerns me is when they started to bring that stuff in, why didn't they come to the Ann's office up there and get a permit for it instead of just bringing them in there and setting them down and then trying to run off? That's my personal opinion.
Okay.
I think the shipping containers will probably stay there and they'll just leave it there and just put their storage stuff inside. You move those shipping containers, the building's gonna fall down.
Well, we can determine that. I mean,
Yeah, you need to
we
look
have
at
the
it.
authority to determine how long they're going to stay there. Exactly.
Okay, well, if there's,
Is he gonna put electric in the building?
we're gonna find out. If there, do you have additional concerns? That's what we're here for.
No, I wanna know what else is coming.
I just hope they're not there more than 2 years.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. And if we can get you to come back up
There you go.
We were looking for the spot.
Yeah.
In the container.
and hopefully address some of the concerns.
There's no more containers coming. The building is attached to those containers. They weigh approximately 10,000 pounds apiece. The inspector that came out, they ordered that we stop. So it's kind of a little rickety right now, which I would have much rather braced it up a ton more. So for the concern of like bad construction, being a temporary building, it's not getting 6x6s put in the ground, nothing like that. Well, it will be hurricane strapped, everything safe, so it's not going to go blowing away.
So if I may interrupt you, some of these materials that you're going to store are actually kind of expensive. Am I wrong?
Everything is expensive out there.
Right. So you're not going to invest in a shoddy structure to store your expensive materials.
I'm going to spend the least amount of money that I have to maintain them until they are installed in the final goal. The trailers that are out there, the RVs, the one lady, Bill Barker, the other leaser, his girlfriend, is an artist, and she comes and goes with those trailers. They live in Valpo, so there's no one living there at the property. The shooting, I don't know anything about the shooting. I don't know nothing about that. That's not anything to do with me. Am I missing one?
What we're going to do with the containers after?
Oh, the containers, if you guys want them to stay, they can stay. If they want them to go, they go. If they want the trusses and the structure completely removed, then there you go.
How much time do you need to accomplish the goal of getting material stored, getting your home built, and getting that torn down?
I think a 2-year window would be a fair...
That's what I said originally.
Because there is always delays.
Right.
And as you guys know, working by the lake, it's not ever going to go faster. And especially how slow the people coming out and doing your testing and whatever. Oh, man.
So if we could get you to come up to the table.
Ultimately, this thing will look as if it is a pole barn.
Well, I just want to kind of outline on the aerial photo the placement of the 2 storage containers. You told us they're on the concrete pad that's already there. I just want to be able to show Mr. Irwin and Mr. Kukowicz.
So this thing is currently sitting. That would be a container.
I mean, this is a picture here, right?
And that would be a container.
I understand.
And then the rafters are kind of across that way.
Right.
Okay. So, gentlemen, from what he's drawn here, the structure is sitting on top of a concrete pad that is existing.
And it has 8 feet of concrete still out in front of those containers. Like the building was deeper than these containers are
I
long.
think that thing is 150, 160 feet long because he had 12-foot sections down there, so all kinds of stuff.
They're gonna stay where they're at now.
Sorry, Doug.
Yeah.
They're not gonna be moved inside.
Yeah, they're not. And the trusses are actually screwed through the aluminum.
If I could get you to address the board, please, and the same for you guys.
So the method of construction, we have 2x6s screwed top, middle, and bottom to the containers, 4 foot on center. I've actually added to your guys' economic impact by shopping local with the truss company that's right around the corner there on 30.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They made the trusses. They shipped the trusses to me. They're to all the codes for the county, and the spacing. I mean, not trying to ruffle anybody's feathers. I just trying not to have my stuff go bad before I can use it.
Right. Okay.
Is he gonna enclose the building with metal tin? Or just leave it open?
Please.
Okay. So what the roof will be, the trusses will be extended out to the edges of the containers. So it'll be all almost a common roof line. There'll be a little hip in it, but it'll have a vinyl roof.
Yeah, can get it.
So
we do have a picture if you guys want to come take a look at it.
Send that back to them. Hand that to them.
It'll have a vinyl roof. The vinyl has about 5 years sun
It's gonna cover the storage units then.
Yeah, it will extend out over the
I was
edges.
wondering.
All right, I'm going to remind all of us
It'll
to
extend out the over.
talk to the board. Thank you.
In between the storage building and.
Well, I think that's more of a question for the building department for the permit and
I have a
inspections.
question because I'm really interested in this vinyl roof thing. Are we talking about like a stretch cloth vinyl roof?
Yeah. I mean, it's
because
like
I mean, most of the time when people do that, they use pipes, not wood, because of the friction problem and the damage to
rubbing,
the material.
But he's only going to use it for 2 years instead of
Won't damage
it has a 5-year.
Okay, the other point I
lifespan.
wanted to make, if we're talking about building right now, I mean, we just had somebody build one of these, and the county's requirement for those trailers is much more than what you're doing. They have to be on a foundation, correct, Anne Marie? They cannot sit on a floating piece of concrete. So you're gonna come into a lot of cost. It's code for LaPorte County.
That you're going to have to anchor the containers.
That's a building. They have to be on a foundation and anchored to it.
Would it not be considered a temporary structure since everything is not attached to the ground?
You're not gonna get around building code standards by calling it a temporary structure. You're still gonna have to follow.
Anybody that was in that building would be in danger of collapse if it's not built properly. So that's not safe. I mean,
Right, and so
expensive
while
materials.
the board may or may not grant the variance, they still have to go through the building permit process, and
I
that's
just want him to know that.
Okay.
very good. Okay. Is there any
Even
further
if we granted it, yeah.
questions or comments
If
from
we
the
granted it,
board?
he still doesn't follow her.
Right. And it's not a consideration for the variance.
If there are no further questions or comments from the board, and there are no further remonstrators, I will entertain a motion.
Madam President, I would move that we approve the petition for the variance of developmental standards for Gene and James Reed, lessors, and William Barker and Josh Schneider, lessees, to enclose 2 shipping containers for the storage of building materials for a maximum of 2 years. Property is located at 13804 South, 1050 West, Wanatah, Indiana, Zone B2 on 3.235 acres.
Have
Point of order, Madam President.
Yes.
Are you going to include anything in the motion to have them remove the structure and the containers?
That was my intent, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's add to the motion that the structure and the containers be removed within 6 months of that 2-year period at the end. So I'm giving you 2.5 years to get your stuff out of there and get the building torn down.
Thank you.
All right.
That might work. I'll second it, Earl, if that's what it is.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Aye.
Aye. So the motion carries 3-2. Good luck.
Thank you.
Is there any further business in front of the Board of Zoning Appeals this evening? Attorney BG?
No, ma'am.
Anne Marie?
No.
Yes.
That's an hour and a half. Should be good.
Yeah, it's real good.
From a board member, I would like to make a motion that we make it standard policy in the future to move our attorneys to the front by alphabetical order. We have multiple attorneys on the agenda.
I'd second that.
I think that's a good idea. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Good idea.
Good job, Earl.
Adamski would like that.
If there's nothing further, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, I like
Motion
the
adjourned.
alphabet floor, VG Adamski.
Yeah,
So
well, Volz comes pretty low, so he's the one who votes off.
I have a motion and
There's
a
3
second.
attorneys, he's going to
Thank
be
you,
third.
gentlemen.